Ignition sequence start. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Hey everybody, this is the Digital Asset Investor, and I wanted to show you this. This is the Kathy Wood. She's talking about what we were talking about last week about mortgages, and she says Bitcoin holders probably have a large percentage of their net worth in crypto and therefore have not been able to qualify for a mortgage. I wouldn't be surprised if they were to shift some of their Bitcoin to Coinbase to serve as collateral for a once unattainable new home. Well, you're going to see, folks, this is what I've been saying for a long time. I think that self-custody should be available from now on. I agree with that, the option to do that. And I don't think it's a bad idea to have some of your stuff that you're not planning on using for anything in self-custody. But where most of the money, the big money, is going to go is it's going to be in institutional custody, because it's going to have to be in institutional custody in order to use in order to have a lot of the things, or earn money off of it, or use it towards a mortgage. That's the way where all this stuff's going to go. So with significant money, you better go ahead and get used to it. I know I am. Listen to this, because here's look, you can read between the lines. I don't know exactly what he's saying here, but I know what I think he's saying.
I'm looking at your list
this is the CEO of iTrustCapital, folks, being interviewed by Paul Barron.
Tokens. Obvious, Bitcoin, Ethereum, most likely leading the way in terms of activity. You got XRP in there, Solana. When you look at the tokens right now, what's the top ones? What are people trading and holding the most, outside of Bitcoin and ETH? Because we know those are the big ones.
Yeah, surprisingly, there is a very strong XRP army out there, and they are fanatical about XRP and the potential for XRP. We
wait for it. Here it comes.
Speak to Ripple often. We think they're amazing and sharp people. They have some innovative products coming down the pipeline. We'd love to work with them at some level to allow the XRP army, these fanatics that really are excited about the potential to do more with their XRP. So that's a big one.
Do more with their XRP. I'd like to do more with my XRP. I would like to earn interest on my XRP. I hope that's what he's talking about. That's one of the reasons I've been partnered with iTrustCapital for years. 2018, 19. I've had my digital assets, a lot of my digital assets on there in my IRAs on there for years. It's institutional custody. Now they have the premium custody accounts, and they do allow you now to send XRP into their premium custody accounts. It doesn't cost you anything. Their fee is a 1% trading fee both ways. That's how they charge. If you want to go open one of these accounts, my page here is iTrustCapital.com/XRP Army. Now, I want to remind everybody, I got a lot to cover today, but in the group today, we're going to be, that's the Patreon, DAIXRP.com. Or if you want to join through YouTube, click the join button right below any of these YouTube videos, or you can subscribe through X. I've seen a wild and crazy price theory going around this morning. I don't remember seeing that one, but I'm going to go over it. I'm going to show you some of the logic on that in the group XRP, a wild and crazy XRP price theory. The markets are kind of flat this morning, so we're moving on. I can't remember if I showed. I know I showed this tweet in the video last time. This is where I was saying, I've known a lot of people that have gotten tattoos when they were young and they regret them because life changes, And then I was making the point that Brad Garlinghouse, he's over 50 years old. He's in Harvard MBA and everything else that he is, which is a smart dude. And the guy's maybe one of the most important CEOs in America, even though he said that's a low bar, which I don't agree with that. I think he was just kidding. But I said, lock in. Brad Garlinghouse has zero doubt. And he replied to it and says 1,000%. Not 1%, not 10%, not 100%, but 1,000%. And this is the ETF guy that's from the president of the ETF store, Nate Garachi. We'll see what happens when the spot ETFs are approved, but XRP Army, way more passionate than I think people realize. He's got that right. If I had to rank passion based on my experience on this platform, 1 Bitcoin, 2 XRP, well, I think he's wrong about one thing. Yeah, the perception is that there's more passion with Bitcoin, but that is all PR backed. This is it has been and is a marketing machine from day one. Just to put that in perspective, when Bitcoin has their annual conference like they did in Las Vegas, all you have to do is look at who promotes it and how it's promoted. It's promoted by a complete PR marketing machine. When XRP Las Vegas is had, it's promoted by 2 guys, me, 2 YouTubers, me and Digital Perspectives Brad Combs. That is the only people that actively promote XRP Las Vegas. Everybody in that room is there because of 2 YouTubers that just happened to have been here for a while in XRP. Imagine, and I believe over time you're going to see more of a PR machine get behind that. I think you'll see that thing grow to crazy amounts. July will be a big month. This is the second time I've seen that. And then here's Digital Perspectives. Brad Combs had the Meta Lawman, James Murphy, on to talk about this wrapping up of the SEC versus Ripple case.
So let's not forget, it was a victory. It was celebrated as a victory. And my guess is they will put it to bed pretty quickly.
Yeah. So that I was going to say, so that's your final thought there. You think this gets, what do you think happens here? Do you think they both drop the appeals and the case is officially over for good? We're done here. Do you think that happens?
Yeah, when appeals are dismissed, they are dismissed with prejudice. You can't rebring them. To me, the one delay will be the question of whether the SEC must hold another vote, because this is a different settlement. It's a better settlement for the SEC, keeping the injunction, presumably keeping the $125 million. Caroline Crenshaw will still vote against it, but nevertheless, that may delay things. But I can tell you, there's no way the SEC wants to continue with their appeal because they do not believe in the arguments. It is not their position that trading on the secondary market is a bunch of free-floating investment contracts that are secured. It's ridiculous. It was always ridiculous. And so they're not going to pursue that. I'm 99% certain of that, but it may require a vote, and that could be a few weeks, couple weeks, whatever. And Alderati and Garlinghouse have been thinking about this forever. What do we do if Torres? It's not like I'm the only one who figured out this ain't going a good direction, So what do we do? I think they're probably pretty close to ready.
Yeah.
And I think the ready is to pull the plug on that appeal and not pursue it for another year and a half.
And I would like to remind people, the SEC sued Amazon, the SEC sued Microsoft, and the SEC sued Tesla. And they're all doing fantastic now.
That's a very good point. Don't get priced out. This is the modern investor.
Years ago, XRP was 1 cent. When it went over $2, it doesn't really appear this way, but it kind of became out of reach for a lot of people. You wouldn't expect that for $2. It's because people were used to buying tens of thousands of XRP for very little money, very, very little money. As XRP goes higher in price to $5 to $10, people then go, well, if I put 100, I'm only getting 10 XRP. But then the problem is there, at some point, XRP goes to 100, it goes to 450. Now, I know we're talking down the line, but this is the general mindset of it. At some point, the price is going to rise a lot higher, and then you'll look back at that $2 and go, I should have got it at $2 as opposed to 450. At some point, Bitcoin was also 1 cent, 50 cents, $1. I remember, and I'll tell you, when I dove into crypto, late 2016, when I made the other channel, The Modern Investor, and when I made this channel, I remember Bitcoin being around 2-3 something thousand. And I'll tell you, honestly, I remember looking at the price and being like, $3,000. I can do a lot with that. I can take a trip here and I can do that, and that's groceries for this many months, and all these things would go through my head. When you look at 100,000 and then you look at 3,000, it's a no-brainer. You simply sit there and you go, well, like, yeah, of course, if I had a time machine, I'd do it. There are a lot of people beginning to like mention things like this, and I think when people hear it, read it, or go over it, it almost seems unbelievable to them that they could or actually would be priced out of the cryptocurrency market. And I think it's because we're here in the present. And it's only when you look back and you go, that's how cheap it was. I can't believe that.
That's right. That's how I think this ends. There's going to be a lot of people that say, you got XRP at what? They're gonna think you got lucky, but they're not gonna realize how long you were here and what you had to live through. But that's okay. I wanted to show you the second part of this. Brad Garlinghouse is telling a Bitcoin story.
People will say, "Oh, well, Brad said Bitcoin is controlled by China." My response to that is there was a period of time where a vast majority of Bitcoin mining was in China. Mm-hmm. That is no longer the case, and I think that's good for the industry.
Mm-hmm. And you own Bitcoin through that period anyway?
For sure, yeah. I don't remember when I last... I've used Bitcoin. I'm not sure I've sold Bitcoin. I've used Bitcoin for various transactions, but I haven't sold it.
Do you remember what you used it for as a transaction? You want to keep that private?
I mean, there are times, look, I just recently, I had such a frustrating, I was planning a summer event. I sent a Swift wire transfer, no surprise, it gets lost. I'm emailing, with them. I'm like, look, you could accept Bitcoin, you could accept a stablecoin, you could accept XRP, and this would have been done already.
Right.
It was one of these things where 50% of the wire went, I have to do another 50%. I'm trying to convince them for the other 50% that they should take something else, so we'll see.
Right, we'll see.
All right, look at this. The utility phase is beginning.
Corporations, however, see big potential for stablecoins. The IPO circle, which is the issuer of USDC, unlocked billions of dollars in pent-up demand for these issuers. After raising $1.1 billion during its debut on June 5th, the company's stock soared more than 700% just in June. Then, new circle partnerships and competition quickly followed. A stablecoin product launches from crypto exchange Coinbase, Shopify, French bank Societe Generale, and payments platform Fiserv quickly hit the headlines.
We're entering the utility phase right now, where the technology has matured. It's gotten fast, it's gotten cheap, it's gotten easy to use, and that's leading to real-world adoption across businesses and consumers. And stablecoins are at the forefront.
All right, let me move that. I may cover that in the next video. XRP, largest USA-based protocol. Check it out. Smoke keeps finding awesome stuff. Presence in the internet and blockchain protocols. Bitcoin. This is interesting. Bitcoin Global. Even though there's a Fourth Satoshi's video. Ethereum was founded in Switzerland. Binance Dubai. Dogecoin Sweden. Cardano Switzerland. Polygon India, Polkadot Switzerland, Litecoin Singapore, Shiba Inu Global, whatever that means, Tron Singapore, Solana USA, Uniswap USA, Avalanche Singapore, Chainlink Global, whatever that means. You see the picture here, folks? Almost like it was by design. Okay, we're going to go into the group. We're going to talk about a wild and crazy price theory. And I'm not going to focus on the number, although it's huge. I'm going to focus on what they're saying here, because even if you don't think, even if you think the price is crazy, which maybe it's crazy, maybe it's not, I'm not going to weigh in on that. The logic of what the guy's saying will show you where we're going. That's what's important. Go to DAIXRP.com to join through the Patreon. If you'd rather join through YouTube, click the join button right below this video. If you'd rather join through X, click the subscribe button. I'm the digital asset investor. I'm not an investment advisor. This is for entertainment purposes only. Please subscribe, hit the like button, tell your friends and family. Away we go.